Hey everybody, and welcome on back to Minecraft fWhip here, and today we are doing another tutorial video, this time off of one of the buildings out of my single player survival world. This awesome build right there in front of us. We're going to be taking this one out of here and building it up outside of the city. I want to show y'all how to build up a medieval city or medieval village house, so without any further ado, let's get right to it. And with that, my friends, let's get on with today's tutorial. This is the shape that we're going to be using for this awesome medieval village city house style that we're going to be going with here. And a quick look at the different types of blocks that we're going to be using. This is most of them. We might add a few more in here as we go. I believe I got all of them on this one. What we want to do to get ourselves started out is trace this entire outline that we have here with 1, 2, 3, and 4 tall with just some regular stones. We're going to be bringing this around just super quickly around this entire area. This is going to be the base floor. It's going to be expanding out from going upwards on here. The reason being for that is doing a little bit of research myself into how medieval cities worked is they want to have everything crammed in there as closely together as possible. So as the buildings went up, they were also able to go out so that they could fit more like streets and things in below. So the buildings were kind of hanging over the streets just ever so slightly, and they're able to fit more people into the area. So bringing all this stuff up to 4 tall right here and making this smaller base, and then we expand it by 1 block going up to the 2nd floor, 1 block again going up to the 3rd floor, and we'll be good from there. But bringing around this one to a close right here, we can start to talk about some details onto this lower section. Speaking of which, first and foremost, what we want to do is come onto the corners and do every other block. You're just going to want to do a little bit of stone brick. So 1 and 2 corner, 3 corner, and as always, the 4th corner. Doing the exact same thing in there. Then outside of that, what we want to do is we want to pick a doorway for ourselves. I'm thinking right over here is going to be a good spot for a door. Go ahead and put a polished andesite above the top of that one. Grab a spruce stair and just throw a stone brick or something down there, whatever your floor material is going to be for your roadway, and put that guy right in just like that. Then also on top of this, you can grab some spruce slabs and spruce trapdoors. Do the spruce slab right above there, spruce trapdoor, 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 and trapdoor, and it gives a little bit of an overhang down here. The purpose of that is to help break up the general face of our road, so it's not just stone across this entire area. Next thing we can do is come in right here. We can grab some glass. You'll notice they have full glass and glass panes. That's going to be very important as we move up to the extra layers. We can add out our window and add in that right there to be a little bit of a window shutter. Again, breaking up the stone so it's not just consistent. Outside of that, we also want to be bringing in some andesite, just kind of scatter it around the build. I like keeping it more towards the bottom of these stone faces that we have. Just go ahead and scatter it how you want. And there we go. Outside of a chimney later on, we are pretty much done with all of the stone that we need. Now we're going to be moving into some wood. So you're going to bring a dark oak stair, 1, 2, 3 trapdoors, dark oak stair, 1, 2, 3 trapdoors, dark oak stair, and then bring that over. Actually right here, mess that one up. You want to actually have the middle gap. It's just going to be 2 wide there instead of being 3 wide, and that'll be totally fine with us. And then on top of each one of these, you can go ahead and count 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. Now that we've got our spruce pillars in here, we can go ahead and bring in some white terracotta, just creating a little bit of a window inside of here. And the reason why we're going to have both regular glass blocks and glass panes is because sometimes we will need to do something a little bit like that, because a pane inside of here would not connect to anything. So in order to fill the whole space, we got to use the full block. Then bring in an oak trapdoor right here, and another oak trapdoor right there. Can look like a little bit of shutter action going on. Add a jungle leaf down below it, and it can be absolutely fantastic. This area inside of here, you can either include a window or no window if you would like to. You can also extend this whole build out one more, going in that direction or that way, and just have one of these end bits being 4. So you basically just extend that wall out to right here, and then you could get a 3, 3, and 3 if you would like to, but I kind of like having the variation that we have in here. So for this case, let's just go ahead and add in the quick window bit right in there, and bringing in our oak trapdoor right next to it. We got our jungle, and we can do a jungle leaf right here. When they're kind of on this sticking out bit right there, I like to do 2 leaves, just kind of one down below it a little bit further, and we can fill in right there. The reason why we're using oak trapdoors here is 1, to get a little bit of a lighter variation to it, and we are actually using our spruce trapdoors already to do something else, because they are working as the way that we kind of divide the floors and add a base to where our white terracotta is beginning, because that would look a little weird from down below if you just saw the white terracotta. So adding in that exact same pattern up here, we're actually going to be extending this up. This time these are going to be going up 1, 2, and 3. I know, very new. Same exact thing again, but we're actually, what we're going to be doing in here is you can just fill in this entire row if you'd like to right here, and just fill in those same exact blocks. But we're going to be starting our roof on this one on the 3rd layer of this block, so it's actually only going to look like 2 tall. Now, for the roof area, what we're going to be doing is you're going to bring in some dark oak stairs right like this and have them all extending out to those back sides, and make sure at these corner points where we bring it out a block that you're actually turning the stair. Otherwise, we're just going to see that little bit of the white terracotta, and it kind of breaks up the roof a little bit in a bad way. So that's going to be coming right down to here, and that's basically the front face of this building, and then we're just going to be sending the roof back up. What you want to do is take this exact build that we did right here and flip it around and add it right onto the back. So we're going to 1 2 3 1 2 then 2 and then another 3 right in here, bringing back those spruce trapdoors as well. And you all know exactly what we did on there, so let me get this one in here super fast. All right, both sides of the build are now in, and it looks a little weird from here, right? You know, we're kind of missing, we only got 2 sides in. There's the front on the back as well. So what we want to do here is actually extend across here with some full spruce blocks right like that, or the spruce log planks, right, or spruce logs, there we go, that's the word for them, and then do another one right here. So we're kind of creating these bands. This helps add almost to a more of a Tudor-esque style that we could be going for on this one. We will be breaking this up here later on, but for now, go ahead and just fill in all of these ones, going straight up to the tippity top. Coming over to the other side, you're just going to go along the lower floor. I know it makes the floor look a little off for where we might be going otherwise, but it actually helps lend to the style of the build a little bit more, and I'm okay with that being a little bit more chaotic from these outsides. A big thing to note for these city buildings that I do personally is I plan to usually have only 2 or 3 of the faces showing in total. So if you're going to have a more of a blank side, that's okay. Just where we have this one right here, this could be the start of your next building as we're going throughout. Then what we want to be doing coming in over here is bring in just your dark oak stairs and your dark oak planks, and we're going to work our way all the way up to the top. This one is just going to bring it up a stair and then a full block and then a stair. And so you do a stair, upside down stair on the inside, full block, upside down stair inside, and then kind of bring yourself all the way up here. For me, I find it way easier, regardless of how many times I remember the count, or how many times I need to bring it up. I always forget this, so I just kind of start and work them up at the same time right here. And then we do another one right there, right like this. And if we did this building correctly, we should find these come up to a same central point, just like that. And what I like to do on these ones, just to have a little bit of a decorative flair, is bring it out right like here, and then just flip that little guy in right there, so it sticks out another block further. Then this thing over here, we can copy that exact same part over to this other side, bringing it all the way up, and then we can start to detail out a little bit more about these faces right here. They're going to look very bland and boring right now as we're going. I promise we will fix them later. A quick thing we can do while we're up here is connect the tops of these actually together with a spruce log. It'll help with bringing in the rest of the roof. I actually find it personally helps me a lot. So what you can do is 1 2 3, and then bring it over 1 2 and 3. And then bring this over, and that should connect us up right there to the center. And that's kind of just a general point that we need. Then on top of that, what you want to do is bring in some spruce planks along these entire sides right here. And it's going to be a very big, flat, straight wall or roof line for us, but we'll fix it up later again, like I mentioned. And so you can just bring that going all the way up there. Remember to flip those stairs inside and out on the other ones. And then what you can do on these side bits right here is do some spruce planks or spruce logs like that. Fill in the white terracotta here in the center. And then doing some spruce logs and kind of inching this up all the way here, and then all the way right back across like this. It'll be one skinnier each time that you go up here, and then you'll find that it brings ourselves all the way up to the central point like that. And then you get this big old flat wall side over on here. And what we can actually do on this one while we are over here is bring in this and bring in that, and we should be centered here. Perfect, we are. And then you want to go ahead and bring in some spruce logs right like this, and typically go 3 or 4 tall on those. And then right here in the center, what we want to do is another one of those little spruce trapdoor guys. 1 white terracotta, break that up, and then we can do another spruce log right on top of that one. And inside of here, we can bring in our glass pane, fill that thing out, and then bring in a little bit of spruce wood and kind of have that sticking out, creating a little, not quite a bay window, just something jutting out here from the sides. And it'll help this area feel a little bit more completed and full and just not quite an empty face in here. So we can do that on one side, and then the other side we can do a chimney. One more thing worth mentioning is if you're having a hard time figuring out the roof line as you're going, bring in that same pattern we did with the spruce logs across the top and bring your spruce planks in right like here. So we got the 3, bring it out 3, 3, 3, and then you just fill in the fences, or the stairs, sorry, just like this. And it's very, very quick and very, very simple to get those ones in. So you just kind of trace the whole line, turning those ones out so you don't have any weird open gaps on these ones, and then we can just do a little bit like this. Bring it all the way up here, and it should be pretty quick to do, just with a little bit more right here. We got 1 or 2 more lines to finish up. And perfect. Now for the top of this one, what I personally like doing is just bringing dark oak stairs in, going all the way across, and then you just kind of bring them in and have them rolling like this, so it creates a nice little bit of height variation to the roof. It kind of has that little bit of a wavy effect to it. And what you'll want to do here is inch them in together here towards the center, so they kind of work like this, and hopefully you get a point where they meet in the center right like that. If they don't, you can always just use a full block there to merge them in, or a slab if you'd like to have it fully mob proof. But that's the general shape of the house, my friends. What we can do on this side is to add a very cool chimney. And this one, as I mentioned earlier, we might forget some of the blocks. So what I like to do here is I like to bring a little bit more color into these builds. So what we're going to do is going to bring in some lovely brick and just cut open like a six block space right there. And then on the outside, we can have all this stuff filled in right like here, and just have this extending up a little bit. On these side ones, you can just throw some stairs on top of them, bring in some things like this, and right like that, we've got a nice little base for our chimney. If you take it like half the way up the house like this, and then you can kind of merge it into the house a little bit further. So what you could do here is like that, and extend this guy up one more, and then bring in a brick stair right there, and then start to have it actually be flush with the line of the house, because it wouldn't make sense if it was fully on the outside of this one. So you can bring it all the way up here like this, then bring in our campfire in. We can throw that right on top of here, and then I personally like throwing a brick stair on top of it, and then bringing in our spruce trapdoors. We can surround the campfire so it doesn't look like the smoke is coming from the very top of the chimney, and the smoke can still go through a stair block, so we get those nice little poofs out the tippity top of that one, and I think it's absolutely perfect. Now, a few more little bits of detail that we can add in is coming up here. We can break up the face of this one by breaking out those 2 blocks, and then coming over here, we can break out these 2 blocks here as well. What you want to do is on the inside of this one, just go ahead and extend back a few blocks right here. You can actually get rid of that middle one there too. We will be working with that space, and just go ahead and fill in some full blocks right like this. Then up here, you can bring up this guy 1, 2, and 3 tall, bring our spruce logs, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and right here we can bring in just some spruce action right like this, extending it out over towards the middle. These ones can get a little weird because you'll want to bring in that right there, and what I would recommend here is actually getting some dark oak slabs out and bringing that in all the way across right like this. Here, fill in that log again, and then let's go grab some of our white terracotta, fill in the white terracotta right there and right there. And then you can bring in a nice little glass pane. Ooh, nope, not a glass pane. We need a glass block. I always forget those. Right like that. Perfect. And then bring in some jungle leaves and just kind of have that extending down. And you got a nice little window up here. This could be somebody who might live up in the attic. There's always multiple floors to these things. Then you bring in some dark oak stairs and just kind of round off this lower area. This one is going to be basically the same pattern over here. So we can do this and then throw that guy in on top of it. Bring in some dark oak, and more dark oak stairs over here. And doing this one, I would replace that block right there with a dark oak stair, and then back here you're going to want to just bring in some of those dark oak slabs like we were talking about, right like up here in that perfectly, lining the stairs along the base. And then we get these nice little bits of jungle leaves hanging out there too, and it just helps to brighten up the whole build. And folks, that is pretty much it for this entire thing. I have finished up the interior. Oop, I forgot one little thing. I have finished up the interior inside of the build that I've done inside my own survival world. So I would love to take y'all over there and we can take a quick look at that one right here. One last thing that you can do is on any of these open places to make it a little bit more detailed, add in some of those ladders, and it is absolutely lovely. Welcome over to my survival world. Here we are looking directly at this structure that we built up. I do have a bit of a texture pack over there for those of you who are new viewers. So there's a few little different things going on, like the leaves have a little bit of a bushy edge to them, and brown beds are actually retextured as a bench. But anyways, this is the house that we built up. As you can see, it fits in here perfectly inside of the city, cramped right in between that building and this one right over here, and I love it. The interior of this one is slightly different than what we actually made. Unfortunately, I realized that just now. As we're coming over here, instead of the fireplace being there, the fireplace is there. I know, huge change. I'm so sorry. You can move it back there if you would like to. You can redo this whole tutorial. Let me know in the comments below if I completely messed it up by having a wrongly placed fireplace. But inside of here, it's just kind of a general front entry area. We've got some cool little detail bits of things going around in the area. Got this little place over here for a nice little area to wipe your feet off and everything like that. Need a good floor mat. Coming up here, the second floor is pretty small. It's only 2.5 blocks tall. So we got a little bit of a garden here by the windows and everything. We've got a nice little table and then a small kitchen cooking area right off to this side. Then the kids' room is something back in this area. And we can move on upstairs and we should I guess I didn't do this either. I'm sorry, everybody. I royally ruined the tutorial for today. Yeah, and this window over here, that is one thing I did want to point out. I was looking around the build before to make sure I had touched up on everything, and it looks like I had kind of forgotten the bay window, of all things, one of my favorite parts of it. So let's grab our elytra on and everything like that, and we can fly on up here super, super fast. I know, a live tutorial from the survival world itself. But the bay window, how this works is how we did that one previously, where we had those stairs and then the trapdoor in between. Add an extra trapdoor out on the sides and then bring the logs up from there. So it's 5 wide instead of 3 wide. And then on this one, what you want to do is extend it out with a stair pointing upside down, pointing that way, another stair right in the center, and then finished off with one pointing off in that direction. Then above that, bring in 2 glass panes right back there next to the logs, and then glass panes out on top of those stairs. And then the middle one, you want to bring a full block of the glass block and then kind of curling it around, doing the same thing on the other side. Then this one, you can just kind of arch it up as you go, top it off with some more of those stairs sticking out like that, and you get a very perfect bay window. If y'all would like an actual tutorial on that one, be sure to let me know that down below in the comments. But otherwise, this house is pretty much good to go for everything we did there. I'll get that interior finished up for a later video, something from this actual world here. But everybody, thank you so very much for watching. I do hope this video was helpful for y'all. Any other buildings inside of this world that you would like to see tutorials on, please be sure to let me know that in the comments below. Thank you all so very much for watching. Click that like button down below if this one did help you out, and I will catch you on... Wow, I'm royally screwing that up. I will catch you all on the flip side.